I've always wondered what it would be like to have an orange team in Hogs of War, so I decided to go ahead and make one, and this is what followed. It is a lovely toxic orange colour mixed in with a bunch of blues. Pretty simple, but not as simple as the Grunt because he's actually one of the cleaner characters. He looks very tidy, very neat. But unfortunately the same cannot be said for the heavy weapons guy. I mean, look, his helmet is just messed up in so many ways. Then you got the engineer who looks like he should be on a construction site, not to mention the sniper who is also looking fairly neat, I have to say. The spy is, whoa, just out of this world with the orangeness, and of course who could forget the medic with the combination of the blue as well. Nothing too fancy there. Same with the commando too. I didn't really branch out that much and go for anything too adventurous, but that blue is clashing delightfully. And the hero, who is for some reason having some green legs. I don't know why he's got some like green stripes on his legs. That's just something I need to fix going forward with this texture mod. Now these texture packs are pretty easy to make. It takes me between 3 to 4 hours to go through one individual team and each individual character. If you have a main idea in mind, it is quite simple. It's just very monotonous because you have to convert files and edit in different softwares if you have, specific preferences. If you have, a step-by-step guide in your head and you know what you're doing and you know where everything is, it can help speed things up. So for instance, I flick between using Photoshop and GIMP, and with this individual idea, it actually took me twice as long. So I was working on this for about 6 hours because initially the main base color wasn't this sort of toxic orange. It was more of a, not quite a mustard yellow, but it was a little bit brighter than the yellow team's main yellow color, if that makes sense. So I wasn't happy with that. I wanted it to be a lot more distinct and a lot more, well, orange, as you can see. So you can imagine my frustration when I've gone through each character and realized that the main color isn't the color I want it to be. So I then have to go through each individual texture for each individual character again and change the color from a slightly more yellow than yellow to a toxic ass orange. I don't know, it just took too long, but that was primarily my fault because what you should really be doing is editing one character and then going from there. So you edit that character, you chuck it in the game, you check it, and then you make the decision, okay, is this the main color I want? Because each texture for each individual character is actually the same. So there's a section of the pig model, the texture of that is the same for every character, if that makes any sense. So for instance, if I wanted to edit the back portion, like the butt section of the Grunt, then that would be the same butt section for every other character except for the commando, except for the hero, so you're dealing with other limitations. There is of course the texture mod tutorial that I made a while ago, so if anyone has no idea what I'm talking about, then you can reference that and kind of get to grips with what I'm talking about. But really, texture modding is not very complicated. All you're doing is changing something from one color to another. If I were to be a bit more detailed, I would go ahead and actually completely change the layout of how the pigs' uniforms looked. So everything at the moment is the same. So the only thing that differs in terms of each individual team is the hats that are worn by certain characters, i.e. the heavy weapons dudes, and their main colours. That is it. Once you strip all that away, all the pig models are exactly the same. So at the moment, I'm just changing the colours. But if I were to change the trench coat in some way, so if I were to wipe the design clean and make something different, then that would be doing things in a more complex manner rather than just being like, oh, I don't like the colour red, let me make it orange, and go from there. I will get round to it, but it just depends on the amount of time I have and motivation, because texture modding in Hogs of War kind of comes in waves for me. So if I know that I have a lot of time in my hands and I can sit down and just work flat out on this one design, then I will go ahead and do that. So there will be other texture modding pack things coming out soon as well. It's not just going to be the ones that I've shown already, and obviously I still need to make my way through all the other individual teams as well, because those texture packs are coming out soon too, so do stay tuned for all of that jazz. To tell you the truth, I'm still not overly happy with this texture pack, but at the end of the day, it's an orange, it's something different, and it is one of many to come, because I'm going to keep working at these, trying to have some more interesting designs as we go along. This is kind of a bump in the road and really just showcasing what it would be like to have an orange team. There are colours in Hogs of War that are never really utilised, or they're kind of mixed in together, but the primary colours are what make these teams so individual and give both a representation and a stereotype to each individual country. Okay, getting slightly off topic here, I've got a clip coming up that was a little bit confusing for me. So my pig is, of course, a scout, so he has the ability to throw poison gas. Now there's a pig over there with 18 health. I throw the poison gas at him, he gets poisoned, but he doesn't lose 15 health. Why is that? What kind of bug is that? I've come across it a few times, but it just confuses me every time. You can see he has 18 health, and then the other pig ends up, you know, killing that dude and stealing my kill. It was really annoying because I was intending to poison him and use the poison trick, that kind of thing, but it just messed everything up. I don't know. Have you come across that bug before? Do you like the orange team? Let me know everything you have to say in the comments below, because that is pretty much going to wrap everything up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and can indeed stay tuned for future texture pack things. So let me know everything you have to say in the comments below. The link for the download of these textures will be in the description as always, and I will catch you guys later for the next one.